Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management? We received a great question recently in the Ask Annex inbox, and we want to spend a little bit more time with that. Kevin wrote, "Thanks for hosting your weekly podcast. It's enjoyable to listen to. My question is one that no fiduciary has ever agreed to answer, so I won't be holding my breath. But if you can answer it on your show one of these days, that'd be great. I'd like a fiduciary to chronicle the life of a client's portfolio from the time they become a client till whenever. In other words, give specific information on exactly what the fiduciary is doing with the client's portfolio in every trading day to help it grow above the fees and above the market. Thanks, Kevin." To tackle Kevin's question, I've asked Mike Kirk to join us. Mike is Associate Director of Growth and CFP at Annex Wealth Management. Mike, welcome back.
Hey, Danny.
Kevin, we're going to take your question a step further. We're going to chronicle the entire journey of a client at Annex Wealth Management. Mike is very often on the front end of that experience. Mike, if somebody expresses interest in Annex, they're going to hear from you or someone on your team to kind of get the ball rolling.
That's right. We'll reach out. We'd like to have an opportunity to get to know each other, you to know us to know you. In particular, we're looking at what are your goals, what are your dreams, and also what is the current state from a number standpoint.
Now, in Kevin's case, let's talk about the initial process. He's decided to join Annex as a client. What is the first step?
First step is we sit down, we have those conversations to get to know each other, as I mentioned, and also begin the introduction of various teams. At Annex, we do believe in planning first, so we will collect a lot of data. And in that data, that's where we start to begin our analytics and begin our diagnostic processes so that we can help you avoid future blind spots that might be presented in your plan.
Kevin was particularly interested in day-to-day activity and monitoring that. And help us with that, we pull Matt Morzy in, Director of Research on the Annex Wealth Management Investment Team. Matt, can you describe your role in that?
Yeah, definitely. Our team here at Annex really is on top of our client portfolios each and every single day. We monitor and watch a lot of different things, whether it's how are the equity markets doing today, what are the fixed income markets looking like. We look at our client portfolios in terms of what's the correct risk level that each and every one of them is supposed to take, making sure that if equities make a really big move or fixed income does that, we're not staying away from what that desired risk tolerance is. Within each of those sections, we've got to be looking at, okay, interest rates really moved up a lot recently. How is that affecting our clients' portfolios? Were we prepared the right way going into that? Are there tweaks that we need to make throughout that process? This has been a really volatile year so far, and that's really probably an understatement to say the least. So it really is an each and every single day thing that we're monitoring all of those fine details on there, making those changes in client portfolios when needed, and that could be shown up in a lot of ways. It could be with individual stocks or individual bonds. It could be ETFs or mutual funds where we're having a portfolio manager make those decisions in there. We also have to be monitoring what they're doing as well, too. So it's kind of a multi-layer effect there in terms of how we do that, but it's each and every single day, all day.
Let's take that fiduciary journey a step further. Many look at investments as the be-all, end-all for financial planning, but it's just part of the puzzle. After that client portfolio is set, at least at Annex, we turn to the actual retirement plan. And it's good to have investments, but eventually those investments have to work to fund a retirement lifestyle, and that happens through retirement planning.
That's right. It is one piece of the puzzle. It's an important piece. And when you're in the driver's seat and you know where you want to go, looking at things through the optics of investment management and the ability to be sophisticated, if you will, and couple that with your goals from a distribution planning standpoint, well encompassing current tax law, future tax laws, and even your estate needs as well, that's when it all comes together.
Third component of the fiduciary journey at Annex is tax planning. We won't get deep into the weeds, but it's essential.
It's very essential because at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to overpay in any taxes, right?
And then finally, estate planning, that's an important portion.
It's a huge portion. So, when you think of your goals, perhaps it's being more charitable. You want to incorporate strategies that are most effective to getting the largest amount of net after-tax dollars to your charity. If you're also perhaps thinking about next generation, getting your dollars to your kids, there is a right and a wrong way to do it. And we will explore those to make sure that your hygiene is tip-top shape.
Matt, let's come back to you. All the while, clients like Kevin can ride alongside using tools from Annex to check out performance. It'll drive you crazy to do it every single day. What do you like and what do we use?
Yeah, that's a really good question. You're right. Checking it too often certainly can cause a lot of problems from a behavioral finance standpoint, something that we coach a lot on. But what I think is really useful and really helpful is those client conversations with our wealth managers. Sometimes I join in some of those as well too, in order to really facilitate that conversation, maybe answer some of those questions. But looking at the statements that we send out on a quarterly basis is really, really helpful. The ability to work with a wealth manager to have a portal to be able to see your stuff a little bit more real time from there. But you're right. You don't want to do that too often because you could drive yourself crazy every single day. We're up 0.5% today. Well, now we're down 0.5%. Now we're up 0.5%, and all that worry that comes on with those kind of things. So those statements, having those conversations with us is a really big part of that relationship.
So, Kevin, we expanded on your question, but really went a little further because investment's just one part of that fiduciary journey with Annex Wealth Management. Matt Morzy, Director of Research, Annex Wealth Management, and the investment team, thanks for the help.
Thank you.
And Mike Kirk, Associate Director of Growth and a CFP at Annex Wealth Management, thank you.
Thank you, Danny.